Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey, and with the first week 0 of college football season now over, ESPN has put out a new 2024 NFL mock draft from Matt Miller. So let's break it down, the good, the bad, the stuff I don't really get. What we do get, Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. Please do not complain to me, I should say, about the draft order based on ESPN's rankings, so you can complain about them in the comments. Just make sure your anger is directed properly. Whoever has the number 1 overall pick, they will take Caleb Williams. Maybe Drake Maye blows it away, but it'll be a quarterback. They won't trade it away like the Bears did. There's too much value. Even for Arizona, they would instead trade away Kyler Murray. Now, if you want a fresh NFL mock draft from me, by me, not just a reaction one, help us out. Share today's video on social media, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, X, Instagram, whatever. Text it to a friend even. Share it right now. Number 2, Marvin Harrison. You lose DeAndre Hopkins. Resetting your franchise, in theory, with Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison, this pick, by the way, from the Houston Texans, is a fantastic reset for Arizona. Pick number 3, Drake Maye. If the Bucs are drafting top 5, they clearly then need a franchise quarterback, because it means Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, both were not good enough. This would give them this option in Drake Maye, who I get vibes of Justin Herbert, kind of similar builds, and same number helps out there. I like Maye quite a bit. Number 4 is Dallas Turner. I'm not opposed to Indy going out and adding more pass rush talent. I do think this is a little bit high for what we've seen so far out of Turner. Also passing on number 5 overall pick, Fashanu, which is a great selection here for the Rams because their O-line's been having issues for a long time here. That route I get a little bit anxious with. I don't love it from this perspective, but I do think the investment in the O-line makes sense. I like the Rams pick a lot more than I like the Colts selection, just from a value impact perspective. Number 6, Jared Verse. I'm waiting for one of these young defenders to emerge as a clear-cut top 10 pick. Someone's got to go in the top 10 when you're doing mock drafts defensively. Verse, I think, is maybe a great bet. I think he would have been a top 20-ish pick. Can he jump into the top 10 with another great year? It's absolutely possible. Joe Alt is the selection here at number 7 overall for the Green Bay Packers. There's your David Bakhtiari eventual replacement. Maybe not necessarily even next year, but you're getting an instant impact option at left tackle. No complaints there. Quinn Ewers, fresh picture. No more long mullet. It looks weird, doesn't it? He's the pick here at number 8. Now, if they're drafting top 10, it certainly means Sam Howell did not emerge as the option. He was playing well before that shoulder injury last year. Wasn't quite the same comeback. He has to get a lot better. He has to show growth in a variety of areas before I think you can truly go, yes, this is unquestionably our guy. This is the one we feel super confident about, that we feel locked and loaded is going to be a key piece for us moving forward. I have to see more. It's upside. It is projection, as many first-round picks tend to be. So will Quinn Ewers be a first-round pick? Y for yes, N for no. It is today's pinned comment, so go vote, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube right now. Kool-Aid McKinstry, number 9 overall. I love this one. You have now a piece where you have a huge need at the cornerback spot, and you get that guy locked in for your organization. So big fan of this fit, and I think this will be a very popular mock draft pick from now for many moons to come. I'll phrase it from that perspective. All right, number 10, JT Tuimoloau. Yannick Ngakoue is there, but he's not going to be maybe a long-term piece. Edge is still a big need. Tuimoloau is still upside. We're basing it mostly on that Penn State game, but the impact potential is certainly there. Egbuka, back-to-back wide receiver OSU players here. You have DJ Moore, you have Darnell Mooney. I love sleeper pick Tyler Scott, Chase Claypool. Do you need another premium pick at wide receiver? I'm not so sure. This is a little bit early for me as well, but I guess you can't be too mad about adding a guy I think is going to be a really good wide receiver too in the NFL. Great fit long-term with DJ Moore. Number 12, Patrick Paul. Under the radar player, big size, top 15's rich for me, but I do appreciate the first round buzz, plus it does fill an area of need. Mason Smith, 2 A's. I am very disappointed he's been suspended. F the NCAA in the comments for the first game against Florida State. He was looking really good before he tore his ACL last year. Looked really good as a true freshman. Great size, great frame, fits the defense. Touch early. Maybe you'd want a quarterback if you went 13th, but maybe there isn't one good enough. Either way, a lot of projection, but a lot of talent here for Mason Smith. J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Would the Steelers really go back-to-back offensive tackles, Broderick Jones, then Latham as the right tackle? Maybe. You can't totally rule it out, but maybe you would go in a different direction. But hey, offensive line help, a good, massive right tackle is never a bad thing. The next goal for us here on Chat Sports in subscribers is 343,000. If you haven't already, hit that sub button right now for more free videos all season long. Number 15, Kalen King. A lot of picking the same position they picked in last year's draft in this mock draft in ESPN, which I think is kind of weird. But Kalen King is a good corner. He and Deonte Banks would make a fantastic 1-2 punch. I love Joey Porter Jr. I love Kalen King a lot too. Chop Robinson has the upside to be the best edge in this class, but we do still need to see it. He only had 5.5 sacks last year, so there's a lot more room for growth in terms of his impact of his performance, but Denver does love drafting edges. Brock Bowers out of Georgia, finally off the board, which you're going back and you're going, yeah, this is the danger, right? A tight end. I think he's really more of a ginormous slot receiver who can block, which carries plenty of value. Maybe that's the better way to view it. But this is a Kyle Pitts level talent at the tight end position. Might not go as early, probably won't go as early, but giving the best playmaker on the board for C.J. Stroud, I think that makes sense. This pick, by the way, via the Cleveland Browns. This is the pick that makes the least sense to me. Not for like the talent. If Xavier Worthy plays well, if Ewers is worth a top 10 pick, probably means Worthy's going in round 1, 2. You have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Undersized, skinny, very fast receivers. Why do you need a third one? Why don't you take an offensive lineman or replace some of the defenders you might lose in free agency? I don't love this adding another receiver pick for Miami. Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. I don't know if he's really going to be a round 1 guy. He had 4.5 sacks, but he was kind of a part-time player. There is talent here. I think in general, we tend to fall in this trap of, OSU defender going to be a round 1 pick. Haven't actually been as many as you would think in recent years. Now, if you want to get this current crop of rookie players' jerseys, you can do so. Chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Links in the comments section and the description. Got the rookie numbers up there from our friends over at Fanatics. All the top players, they have their jerseys. So get yours today. Chatsports.com/NFL jersey. That's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. The Saints, Rome Odunze out of Washington. You'll see a couple of different Washington guys this year get some round 1 buzz. I don't know how much you can really trust Michael Thomas. And Odunze Olave trio is really fun for New Orleans. J.J. McCarthy, the pick here out of Michigan. There's some... This makes sense. You are dealing with the situation of, do you have enough trust in Kirk Cousins to bring him back next year? Even if you do or don't, McCarthy, the Michigan man, has a great arm. He's got dual threat ability. I don't know if we're going to see enough of a sample size to trust it, but this is a worthwhile gamble as we see with the entire season still to be played. Caleb Bullock out of USC here. I have no complaints about adding more safety talent if you're LA, and I think Bullock's in that range of top 5, whatever, best available options. The Green Bay Packers will then take Barrett Carter here, and I think this is about the right range for Barrett Carter in terms of probably a back-end round 1 guy. When you have the Devondre Campbell and you just spent a first-round pick on Quay Walker, drafting another one is maybe not the route I would go. The claim was, No, they don't like Carter, a 3-down playmaker on defense. Well, they have 2 of those guys that you're banking on. Maybe you're going to move on from Campbell. Maybe you don't love Walker so far, but that's kind of a weird blend for me there. This pick, by the way, is courtesy of the Jets, assuming it's the Aaron Rodgers trade hits the requirements. All right, who is your favorite player in the 2024 NFL Draft? Drop the name for me in the comments section right now. Who are you most excited to see play college football this season? Another Iowa corner, Cooper DeJean, fits a big need. The Ravens once have had some of the best, talent in the NFL at corner, have kind of lost some of the pieces over the years. Now they're able to start to replenish it with the Iowa option. All right, the Lions take Leonard Taylor out of Miami. This is a fun fit for me. 3 technique, fits really well, I think, with Lee McNeil. Lot of upside. He has not put it all together yet like most of these guys have, but I would not be shocked if he ends up being a first-round pick. FSU and Miami, from an NFL talent perspective, getting a bit more on track here. Another OSU player, Michael Hall. The flashes we have seen in a very small sample size are highly intriguing. Now, that does not necessarily mean it's going to continue to be the case, but the flashes have been there, and I am very intrigued how it all ends up playing out for Michael Hall. Definitely one of the top wild cards to watch this year. Malik Neighbors, I do think, should be in the first-round conversation. Good value here for me at number 27 overall. I would not be shocked if he ends up being the second receiver taken, by the way. If the Cowboys believe in some combination of Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, and Jalen Tolbert, I doubt they would go Neighbors, however. I like this fit. Cameron Kitchens. We'll see how much longer Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer stay together, but it's fine. The value's here. I'm a sucker for playmaking. He had 6 interceptions. That's my kind of guy here at pick number 28. Amarius Mims played basically a handful of games last year, like snaps combined, was wildly impressive in those. If that continues, 29 will be too low for Amarius Mims. Hell, 9 might be too low for Mims. There's some projection, some waiting and seeing how it all plays out, but there is a lot to like with what we've seen so far out of Mims. Number 30, Josh Newton. I don't know if corner's the biggest need right now because they have Cam Taylor-Britt, they have DJ Turner, they have Mike Hilton under contract. Newton is worth a back end of a round 1 selection. I think that ESPN is overstating the need to have another corner on this roster, but I don't necessarily hate the mindset of going out and adding a piece at this position. So it's fine. You can always invest premium picks in corners. Braylon Trice, which is another edge rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles. I would say this might be a wee bit rich in terms of the level of investment in that position grouping, but it's not the worst thing in the world either. The Eagles love spending premium picks on this spot anyway. I do love the fit here of this pick. JT Sanders, Tavion Sanders out of the Chiefs. I don't know how much longer Travis Kelce's going to keep playing his level. He turns 34 this year. That's ancient for a tight end. But if you want to use some more 2 tight end sets, which I think could become in vogue in the NFL if you can convince teams to bring back a linebacker in the box, Sanders certainly checks off that box. That's the round 1. Who is ESPN hating or sleeping on? I'm sure you have names. I'll mention some that I am intrigued by here. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. Some notable players not drafted. 5 on offense, 5 on defense. Riley Leonard, I would not be shocked if I like him more than Daniel Jones coming out of Duke. Keon Coleman from FSU and his running mate Johnny Wilson. Several offensive linemen I wanted to show some love to, could become kind of late round 1 picks. Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, Jordan Morgan from Arizona, Kingsley Tuimoloau out of BYU, the former Oregon transfer. Latu Latu out of UCLA. I think Jerzon Newton should be in every round 1 mock draft right now. McKinley Jackson from A&M is intriguing. Smile Mondin, there was a joke about, there are no more Georgia players to take. Well, you could have taken Mondin, ESPN, if you wanted to go that route, but the Eagles don't like spending premium picks on linebackers, so probably not going to happen. Nate Wiggins out of Clemson, also a good name to keep an eye out for.